to the episode 11 Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to be recapping episode 7 of Lego Masters. We are down to the final 6 contestants. We will move on to our final 5 after this episode. We have seen a whirlwind, and I say a whirlwind of events unfold with some of these cast members over the last few weeks that have seen some troubling builds. But this week's episode, the remaining contestants build a wearable mask for a costume party. For the first time in LEGO Master history, each team is required to wear their design and make a grand entrance at the masquerade ball. Maximizing effort is required to make each headpiece is strong enough to safely strut the runway in an all-new episode of LEGO Masters. This was probably my favorite episode of the season. Our teams that are left are Anthony, Joe, Ben and Michael, Corey, Rebecca, Sage, Ian, Maya and Jamie, and Ann and Luke. So, what are the judges looking for? They were looking for a wearable, obviously it has to be wearable. So they are wearing this mask down a walkway and have to introduce it. It has to match the costume of which the mask has to match the costume of which they're building it for. And this was just incredible to watch some of the builds. Early on, Maya and Jamie struggled with their mask dropping. Ann and Luke are asked whether or not they want to turn into golden brick. This was an interesting thing because with 6 left, you want to try to make it to the final 5. Like the final 5 is the be all end all, right? That's what we're trying to make it to. Obviously, you're trying to make it to number 1. But Ann and Luke looked around and were like, yeah, ours is probably not the best. So they went ahead, already turned the golden brick. Both first opportunities to turn the golden brick in were turned in. But Ann and Luke secured their spot in the final 5. Sage and Ian were up first. Sage walks the aisle, and I loved the dress along with the style of the mask as they paired so well together. Sage delicately, slowly walked down like she was walking a runway, and the design with her giving a twirl was honestly breathtaking. This design was incredible to me. Probably one of my favorite designs of the entire season. The judges loved it. I loved it. I gave it a 9.0 out of 10. All right. Corey and Rebecca, they did a little dance number on the way, and it matches the dress rather well. The movement was kind of cool on the mask. The depth was pretty, but I kind of felt like it was just a tier below what we saw from Sage and Ian. The judges enjoyed it, but didn't think it was as big as they were hoping for, but they still liked it. I gave it a 7 out of 10 on this one. Moving on to Anthony and Joe. This to me was wild because they were struggling to even get the mask on in order to walk the runway. I thought for sure Anthony and Joe were probably going to go home because of what was unfolded. And to me, it was, to me, it was insane. You know what I'm saying? Like there should have been, this could have been like the ultimate elimination for these guys. But they were able to finally get it on. And when they walked down that aisle, it was scary to watch because you thought it was going to fall apart, but it worked. It was massive. The design was brilliant. This might be their best work to date. The judges loved it as well. And Luke, this was really underwhelming. It was probably a really good use of the golden brick. When we see other things unfold, it probably wouldn't have been in the bottom 2. But overall, some good features, but the judges kind of agreed it was kind of meh as well. I gave it a 5 out of 10. Maya and Jamie, vibrant in color, had some okay features, but another one that was severely underwhelming. The fact that they were able to get it down to down the aisle was probably a win all in itself. Ben and Michael, halfway down, are stars that everybody thinks is probably going to knock this one out, knock it out of the ballpark, and win this show. Their mask broke. This is where things get interesting, and I'll flip-flop it to me, because to me, does the bad build go home or does the incomplete build go home? And that to me is where there's going to be a lot of questions that are going to be asked about what happened here. And we'll talk about it in a minute. The winners, my 2 favorite builds of the episode, Anthony, Joe, Sage, and Ian, were my 2 favorite builds. And I'll be honest with you, they were the top two, with Anthony and Joe winning. This was the correct winner. I tried to balance one or the other to try to figure out which one I liked more, but to be honest with you, both of these two were worthy of a victory. Huge win for Anthony Joe as we head into the final five. And then, of course, we reach over and we're in the bottom two, right? Ben and Michael, Maya and Jamie. This probably would have been my bottom two, too. Ann and Luke were just lingering around there, kind of basically got lucky using the golden brick. But Maya and Jamie, Ben and Michael, easily bottom two. This is where I ask you guys at home that are watching Lego Masters, who should have went home here? If we're basing it just off this competition, not prior work, this competition, Ben and Michael should have probably went home. The mask broke. It was a cool mask, but their design was incomplete and their challenge was not completed by them. That, to me, right there, should have went home. I understand Maya and Jamie's. It was underwhelming as hell. But personally speaking, I firmly believe that they kept Ben and Michael just because of how strong they have been up to date. And to me, if it's based on the competition presented in front of you, Ben and Michael should have went home, period. Obviously, Maya and Jamie were the ones that went home instead. That being said, that leaves us with our final five and trying to navigate and figure out who is going to win Lego Masters. So, Anthony and Joe, Ben and Michael, Corey, Rebecca, Sage, Ian, Maya, and Jamie. Who did I just? Sorry about that. I lost Maya and Jamie went home. Sorry. I don't know why I crossed out for Ben and Michael. Okay. So Anthony, Joe, Ben and Michael, Corey, Rebecca, Sage and Ian, Ann and Luke. Those are our top five. I'm going to rank these based on who's left. Ann and Luke come in at number 5. I'm sorry. Hang on one second. Hang on. Time out, guys. I'm sorry. Ann and Luke come in 5th just based off of this competition alone. I slot them into the 5th spot, and that's the reason. And again, I'm going to do this based off the overall body of work of the entire season, not off just this episode, because obviously Anthony and Joe, Ben, Michael, there's some strong competition here throughout this. I'm going to go Ann and Luke 5. No, sorry, Corey and Rebecca 5. Ann and Luke are number 4. Give me Ben and Michael 3, just based off of, I think I've seen 2 builds now that have been off the wall. Ian and Sage at number 2, and then Anthony and Joe at number 1 for me. And that's why I believe Anthony and Joe, their build this episode was absolutely impressive and definitely worth having the conversation of being the best of the best. But let me know what you guys think of this week's episode of Lego Masters Season 5, Episode 5. Who do you think should have went home? And we'll be back next week breaking down another episode.